You think you're strong because you keep showing up. You think you're mature because you stay calm. You think you're good because you don't push back. But that's not strength, that's conditioning. Right now, people are using you in ways you don't even notice. At work, you give an idea in a meeting. Someone louder repeats it 5 minutes later. The room nods. You stay quiet. You tell yourself it's not worth the tension. In your personal life, someone cancels plans with you again. Last minute, you say, no worries. You pretend you're fine. In your family, someone assumes you'll help. Your time, your energy, your weekend. You say yes even when your chest tightens, because saying no feels wrong. And slowly, something changes, not in them, in you. They stop asking what you think. They stop respecting your time. They stop seeing you as someone with weight. You don't become invisible overnight. You become predictable. You were raised to be helpful, to be polite, to be agreeable, to explain yourself, to be soft so others feel comfortable. But you were not raised to be powerful. You were raised to be useful. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli looked at this exact weakness in men and wrote about it without emotion, without morality. He didn't write about how people should behave. He wrote about how people actually behave when power is on the line. And what he saw is what you are living right now. Respect does not come from kindness alone. Respect comes from restraint, from distance, from unpredictability, from the quiet understanding that you are not easy to use. In this video, you're going to learn the laws behind why nobody respected you until you became cold. Not cruel, not loud, cold, controlled, strategic. These truths will make you harder to manipulate. They will change how you speak, how you react, how you decide. They will move you from being read like a book to being watched carefully. Some people will click away, not because this is wrong, but because it's uncomfortable. If you stay until the end, you're not here for motivation. You're here for power. So put your phone face down for a moment and just listen. And if this hits you, write "I am the strategist" once in the comments, just to mark the day your mindset changed. Now let's break down the truths you were never taught. The first truth is simple, but most men never accept it. People don't test you because they hate you. They test you because they are unsure of you. At work, someone asks you for a favor that's not your responsibility. They frame it nicely. They smile. You say yes, even though it costs you time. In relationships, someone pushes a boundary slightly. A joke that crosses a line, a demand disguised as a request. You let it slide. You tell yourself you're being flexible, mature, easy to work with. What you're really doing is answering a question they never asked out loud. How much can I get away with? Machiavelli wrote that men are quick to offend those who make themselves too easy to approach, not because they are evil, but because human nature looks for advantage. When you respond immediately, explain yourself, and try to keep everyone comfortable, you remove all risk for the other person. There is no cost to testing you, so the tests increase. They interrupt you more. They delay responses to you. They assume your availability. Coldness changes this instantly. Coldness is not silence forever. It is controlled response. It is delay. It is choosing when and how you engage. Next time someone pushes you for an answer, don't rush. Say, "I'll get back to you," and then actually wait. When someone crosses a line with humor, don't laugh it off. Let the silence sit. Let them feel it. You're not punishing them. You're removing the certainty that you can be pushed. And when certainty disappears, respect begins. Another truth Machiavelli understood deeply is this: familiarity breeds contempt. You think being open makes people trust you. You think sharing makes you relatable. You think always being available makes you valuable. It does the opposite. When people know everything about you, when your emotions are always visible, when your schedule is always open, you become psychologically small. There is nothing to figure out, nothing to earn, nothing to lose. At work, the man who over-explains his decisions is rarely respected. The one who states them calmly and moves on is. In dating, the person who constantly checks in and reassures loses leverage to the one who has a full life and does not orbit. Machiavelli warned rulers against being overly familiar with their subjects, not because distance is cruel, but because mystery creates gravity. Coldness is selective access. You don't tell everyone everything. You don't react to everything. You don't show every emotion in real time. You let people come to conclusions instead of feeding them information. Practically, this means you stop oversharing. You stop explaining why you said no. You stop filling silence with words. When you speak less, your words weigh more. Another truth is uncomfortable but necessary. People respect those who can walk away. If you cannot walk away, you will be controlled. In friendships, you stay even when the dynamic is one-sided. In work, you tolerate disrespect because you fear losing the position. In relationships, you overgive because you fear abandonment. Machiavelli said that dependence is weakness, not morally, but strategically. When someone senses you need them more than they need you, the balance shifts. They may not plan to exploit it, but they will feel it. Coldness restores balance by removing visible need. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't beg, you don't chase, you don't cling. When someone cancels on you repeatedly, you don't confront emotionally. You simply stop prioritizing them. When a workplace disrespects your boundaries, you don't vent endlessly. You quietly prepare options. Power often comes from having alternatives. Even one alternative changes your posture, your tone, your patience. People feel that. Another truth Machiavelli made clear is that being liked is unstable. Being respected is durable. You've been trained to seek approval, likes, smiles, validation. Approval feels good, but it evaporates the moment you disagree or stop pleasing. Respect stays even when emotions fluctuate. When you are cold, you don't try to be liked in every interaction. You focus on being clear, firm, and consistent. At work, this means setting expectations without apology. In life, it means letting people feel disappointed without rushing to fix it. You allow discomfort. This is where many men fail. They rush to smooth things over, to explain, to soften. But every time you rush, you teach people that pressure works on you. Coldness teaches the opposite. Silence, pause, measured response. Machiavelli observed that fear of losing respect keeps people in line more effectively than love. Not terror, not abuse, but the fear of crossing a line and losing standing. When people know you will withdraw access calmly, they behave differently. Another truth is about emotional visibility. If people can read you easily, they can play you easily. Your face, your tone, your reactions, they broadcast information. When you react fast, people learn what triggers you. When you explain too much, people learn where to push. When you vent openly, people learn your weak points. Coldness is emotional discipline. This doesn't mean repression. It means timing. You feel everything, you just don't reveal everything. Machiavelli respected self-control above all. A ruler who cannot govern himself cannot govern others. Next time you're provoked, don't respond immediately. Breathe, observe, respond later or not at all. People mistake this for indifference. It's not. It's command over your inner state, and that command is visible. Another truth is that absence creates value. When you're always present, you're taken for granted. When you're selectively absent, your presence matters. This applies everywhere. If you reply instantly to every message, your reply means little. If you're always available, your time is assumed. Coldness introduces scarcity. You don't announce it. You don't dramatize it. You just become less accessible. You focus on your work, your body, your direction. People adjust. They reach out more carefully. They speak more respectfully. They stop assuming. Machiavelli understood that control over access is control over influence. Finally, there is a deeper truth beneath all of this. Coldness is not an act, it's a decision to stop performing goodness for approval, a decision to stop explaining yourself to people who haven't earned it, a decision to prioritize long-term power over short-term comfort. You don't become cruel, you become clear. You don't become heartless. You become disciplined. You don't push people away. You let them meet you where you stand. When you integrate these truths, your life changes quietly. If you ignore them, nothing dramatic happens. That's the danger. You continue being liked but not respected, needed but not valued, present but not considered. You remain readable, predictable, easy to manage. But when you apply them, something shifts. People pause before asking you for favors. They listen when you speak. They stop testing as often. You feel calmer, less reactive, less desperate for outcomes. This is not about being evil, it's about being hard to manipulate. This is not about playing games, it's about understanding the game that was always there. Machiavelli wasn't teaching immorality, he was describing reality. The same reality you live in now. You don't need to announce your transformation. You don't need to explain it. You let results speak. So here's the challenge. Pick the truth that hit you the hardest. Apply it today, just once. Delay a response. Hold a boundary. Withdraw access calmly. Test it before you sleep tonight. And if this opened your eyes, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, and stay sharp. And if this truly hit you, write "I am the strategist" once in the comments, just to mark the day your mindset changed, not for others, for you. After you write those words, nothing magical happens. The world doesn't clap. People don't suddenly treat you differently overnight. There is no dramatic shift on the surface, but inside you, something locks into place. You stop waiting to be seen. This is where most men misunderstand coldness. They think it's a performance, a mask, a posture. It's not. It's a decision that happens quietly and then spreads outward. The first thing you notice is discomfort. When you stop explaining yourself, silence feels heavy. When you don't reply instantly, your body wants to reach for the phone. When you say no without a reason, guilt rises. That guilt is not morality. It is conditioning leaving your system. Machiavelli understood this deeply. He knew that the hardest enemy to defeat is not another man, but the habits planted inside you by others. Obedience feels natural because it was trained early. Disobedience feels wrong even when it's necessary. So when you become colder, your own mind will resist you first. You will think you are becoming selfish. You will worry people will misunderstand you. You will feel the urge to correct their assumptions. Do not let misunderstanding exist. Misunderstanding is not dangerous when you are clear with yourself. Here is the next reality you will face. People will escalate tests when you change. At first, they will push lightly, a sarcastic comment, a passive-aggressive remark, a subtle guilt move. They are checking if the old version of you is still there. If you fold now, you lose more ground than before, because now they know the coldness was temporary. Machiavelli warned rulers about this exact moment. When power shifts, resistance appears, not openly, but indirectly. So you respond with consistency, not aggression. You don't argue, you don't justify, you don't react emotionally. You simply remain unchanged. This confuses people. They are used to feedback loops, push reaction, guilt compliance, pressure explanation. When the loop breaks, they feel unstable. That instability is where respect grows. Another thing happens when you stay cold long enough. People start projecting onto you. Some will say you've changed. Some will say you've become distant. Some will say you think you're better than others. These are not observations. They are confessions. They are reacting to the loss of access, not to your behavior. Machiavelli wrote that men judge more by the eye than by the hand. They react to appearances, not truths. When you stop performing warmth, they fill the gap with their own fears. Let them. Correcting perceptions is a weak man's game. Holding position is a strong man's discipline. As time passes, you will notice a strange shift. The same people who once ignored your boundaries now ask before crossing them. The same people who once dismissed your words now pause when you speak. The same people who once took your time now schedule around you. Nothing about your tone changed. Nothing about your morality changed. Only your availability did. This is one of Machiavelli's most brutal truths. Value follows scarcity, not virtue. You may not like it. You may wish it were different. But wishing does not change human nature. Another transformation happens internally. You stop needing closure. Before, you wanted conversations to end cleanly. You wanted everyone to understand. You wanted emotional resolution. Now you realize something colder and more powerful. Closure is a luxury, not a requirement. Machiavelli never chased emotional completeness. He focused on position, on outcome, on leverage. You begin to do the same. When someone disrespects you subtly, you don't demand an apology. You adjust access. When someone underestimates you, you don't correct them. You let time teach them. When someone misunderstands your silence, you don't rush to explain. You conserve energy, and with that energy, you build. This is where coldness becomes constructive. You redirect attention inward. You train your body harder because it sharpens discipline. You work with focus because distraction no longer feeds your ego. You refine your skills because quiet competence compounds power. You stop broadcasting progress. Machiavelli warned against announcing intentions too early. A man who reveals his plans invites interference. So you move in silence. People begin to notice results without seeing the process. That scares them more than noise ever did. Another uncomfortable truth emerges. Some people will fall away, not because you pushed them out, but because they were feeding on your softness. These relationships were built on access, not respect. On availability, not value. Coldness exposes this. Do not chase what leaves. Machiavelli was ruthless here. Alliances that depend on weakness collapse when strength appears. Let them. What remains will be smaller, but cleaner. You will also notice something else. When you stop reacting emotionally, manipulators reveal themselves faster. They increase pressure. They escalate drama. They attempt urgency. Why? Because urgency is their tool. When you remain calm under urgency, their strategy fails. So next time someone says, "I need an answer right now," you slow down. Next time someone creates chaos to provoke emotion, you remain neutral. Next time someone tries to rush intimacy or commitment, you pause. Coldness is not delay for delay's sake. It is delay for clarity. Clarity is power. As weeks pass, your identity shifts. You no longer ask, "How do I keep everyone comfortable?" You ask, "What position does this put me in?" This is pure Machiavelli, not morality-based decision-making, position-based decision-making. You don't become unethical. You become strategic. You stop volunteering for roles that drain you. You stop engaging in conversations that lead nowhere. You stop investing in people who do not invest back, and something unexpected happens. You feel lighter, not because life is easier, but because you are no longer leaking energy everywhere. Your nervous system calms down. Your reactions slow, your presence sharpens. People feel this. They can't explain it, but they adjust. This is why cold men intimidate without threatening. This is why silence speaks louder than confrontation. This is why restraint beats force. Machiavelli understood that visible control over oneself signals invisible control over outcomes. Now comes the final stage most men never reach. You stop identifying as the victim of disrespect. Before, you thought respect was something others gave you. Now you see it as something you structure. Respect follows boundaries. Boundaries follow self-command. Self-command follows clarity. You are no longer angry at the past. You are no longer trying to prove anything. You are simply unavailable for nonsense. This is the coldest and strongest position. From here, you don't need validation. You don't need revenge. You don't need applause. You operate quietly, precisely on your terms, and when people finally respect you, you understand the truth that would have shocked your old self. They didn't change, you did, not by becoming louder. And not by becoming cruel, but by becoming less accessible, less reactive, and less explainable. This is not the end of the story. This is the point where you stop being managed by the world and start managing your place in it. And once you feel that shift, you will never want to go back. Once you reach this stage, something subtle but dangerous happens. You start seeing patterns everywhere. You notice how conversations are not about truth, but positioning. You notice how favors are never free. You notice how kindness often comes with an invisible invoice. At first, this awareness makes you quiet. Then it makes you selective. Machiavelli warned that a man who sees clearly must learn to hide what he sees. Because clarity without restraint turns into arrogance, and arrogance invites enemies. So you do not expose people. You do not call out every manipulation. You do not announce that you've changed. You let people reveal themselves. This is where coldness evolves into something sharper, observation. When you stop reacting, you start noticing who only speaks when they need something. You notice who disappears when there is nothing to gain. You notice who respects your silence and who panics in it. Silence becomes a test, and most people fail it. Some try to fill it with noise. Some try to bait you emotionally. Some try to provoke a reaction just to feel control again. You give them none. Machiavelli understood that power often lies in letting others exhaust themselves while you conserve strength. You are no longer competing for attention. You are watching behavior. This changes how you deal with conflict. Before, conflict made you anxious. You wanted resolution fast. You wanted everyone calm again. Now, you understand something colder. Not every conflict needs closure. Not every tension needs fixing. Some tensions are useful. When someone feels unsure around you, they behave more carefully. When someone doesn't know where they stand, they reveal their intentions faster. So you let ambiguity exist. You don't rush to clarify your stance. You don't rush to reassure. You don't rush to soften your edges. You allow discomfort to do the work for you. This is a Machiavellian principle most men resist. Emotional comfort is not always strategic. The next shift happens in how you speak. Your words become fewer, but more deliberate. You stop using filler language. You stop hedging. You stop asking unnecessary questions. Instead of "I was thinking maybe we could," you say, "This is what I'm doing," instead of "Is that okay?" You say, "Let me know if there's an issue." No aggression. No apology, just clarity. Clarity feels cold to people who rely on confusion to gain leverage. And here's the part most men are not prepared for. When you become clear and cold, Some people will try to humble you. They will joke at your expense. They will question your decisions publicly. They will test your composure. This is not random. Machiavelli wrote that when a man's status rises, those who benefited from his weakness feel threatened. They try to pull him back down to familiar ground. Your response determines everything. If you defend yourself emotionally, you confirm their power. If you attack, you escalate. If you explain, you submit. So you do something unexpected. You don't react. You let the comment hang. You continue as if nothing happened. You maintain your pace. This unnerves them. They wanted a reaction. They needed proof they still mattered. When they don't get it, their behavior either improves or becomes obvious. Both outcomes benefit you. Another deep change takes place internally. You stop seeking fairness. Fairness is a moral concept. Power is a practical one. Machiavelli never promised fairness. He promised effectiveness. You realize life does not reward effort evenly. It rewards positioning. So you stop asking, is this fair to me? You ask, does this strengthen or weaken my position? This shift alone eliminates half your stress. You no longer argue with reality. You adapt to it. You also stop overcommitting. Before, you said yes too quickly. Now, you treat commitment as currency. Your time becomes guarded. Your energy becomes selective. When someone asks for something, you pause. You assess. You decide based on alignment, not guilt. This makes people more respectful before they even ask, because hesitation signals value. Machiavelli understood that a man who gives too easily is despised, while a man who gives strategically is respected. Now comes a quieter phase. You become less visible but more influential. You don't post everything. You don't announce plans. You don't seek approval. You let outcomes speak. People start hearing about you instead of from you. This is real power. When your name carries weight even in your absence, you've crossed a line most men never reach. But there is a danger here. Coldness without self-awareness turns into isolation. Machiavelli warned that power without allies becomes fragile. So you don't cut everyone off, you refine, you keep a small circle, people who respect boundaries, people who don't test constantly, people who understand silence. You invest there, not emotionally, recklessly, but intentionally. This keeps you grounded without making you soft. Another realization settles in. You stop trying to be understood by everyone. Understanding is optional. Respect is not. When someone misunderstands you but respects your boundaries, that is enough. You no longer chase narratives. You no longer manage opinions. You manage behavior. This is a core Machiavellian idea. Control actions, not thoughts. If someone treats you correctly, their opinion doesn't matter. If someone treats you poorly, their understanding doesn't matter. This frees you. You also notice your emotions changing, not disappearing, stabilizing. You feel anger less often, anxiety less often, resentment less often, because these emotions fed on your lack of control. Now, when something goes wrong, you don't spiral. You analyze. What leverage did I lose? What signal did I send? What will I do differently next time? This turns pain into data. Machiavelli would approve. Pain that teaches is power. Pain that repeats is ignorance. Another shift happens in relationships. You stop trying to prove loyalty. You stop overinvesting early. You let people earn deeper access. This changes dating dramatically. You don't rush intimacy. You don't chase reassurance. You don't fear silence. When someone pulls back, you don't pursue harder. You mirror distance. This is not manipulation. It's balance. Those who respect it stay. Those who relied on imbalance leave. You accept both outcomes calmly, and then something important clicks. you realize coldness is not who you are. It's how you protect who you are. Without it, your values get exploited. With it, your values become stable. Machiavelli believed virtue without strength is useless. You are learning to pair internal values with external discipline. You are no longer ruled by impulse. You are no longer ruled by fear of loss. You are ruled by strategy. This is when people start calling you different. Not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly. They speak differently around you. They choose words carefully. They don't assume. You haven't demanded respect. You've structured it. At this stage, your biggest enemy is regression. Old habits will try to return. The urge to explain, the urge to please, the urge to smooth things over. You catch them early. You remind yourself. Every unnecessary explanation is a leak of power. So you keep refining. You become colder in response, warmer in choice. That distinction matters. You choose when to care. You choose when to engage. You choose when to withdraw. This is sovereignty. Machiavelli wrote that the strongest rulers were not the most emotional or the most loved, but the most self-directed. You are becoming self-directed. Not loud, not aggressive, not cruel, just unmovable where it matters. And now, something else becomes clear. Respect was never missing. It was blocked by your own accessibility. The world didn't change its rules for you. You finally learned them, and from here, the story doesn't become easier. It becomes quieter, more deliberate, more yours. This is the level where you stop reacting to life and start positioning within it. And once you're here, there is no satisfaction in going back to being warm, loud, and easily read, because now you understand the cost, and you refuse to pay it again.